Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, the place where we make fun of the morons we see out here on the road, a bit like this idiot who drives the same way as his brain works and just stops at random moments for no reason at all. Or this mug attempting to drive this blue van, cuts across the front of the truck, nearly proper stripes it up, using his wing mirrors less than an Eskimo who's going to use AC. Or maybe this muppet who drives the same way as you pay for your shopping when you're in Tesco's and you're paying by card, he just taps it and goes. Okay, so from the motorway to a nice suburban road. Car in front there, nicely positioned in the middle of the road there, indicator on, goes round slowly but fails to see the cyclist coming, takes out the cyclist punches the ground with both fists, which is probably the exact same reaction that idiot's parents have every time he fails to get lost, returns home and walks in the door. This from Paul, and how dare he or any other common road user be in front of a black Range Rover with black windows. So please, when such an arrogant, pretentious prick is behind you in such a vehicle, please move aside. Let's have some order out here on the streets. This from Rob B. Now, most pedestrians see a zebra crossing as a place that they can use to cross the road safely. Unless, of course, mentally slow Joe in the black Volvo is coming up the road and just uses it as his own personal overtaking space. Yeah, school was just something that sort of happened around him. He didn't really take part, do you know what I mean? What you're looking at there is a very brightly coloured and easy to see Welsh police traffic officer. As easy to see in fact as a red traffic light, but the goon in the little white car didn't see either, and now he's proper cattle trucked. That right there is what happens when evolution just says, yeah, that'll do. Now you've heard the saying, two wrongs don't make a right. Well, I'm going to title this clip, Two Wrong Uns That Think They're in the Right. The silver car's forcing his way over the guy filming, he's not yielding and they both collide. A pair of them twats could have avoided that so easy, but when ego overpowers intelligence and common sense, that's the end result. Them two are to intelligence what a sumo wrestler is to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Here's Gareth W. approaching a damaging property daily vehicle, and following the DPD, the dumb person driving handbook, to the letter he just pulls straight out. On board with ENK Driving School on Instagram, he's just approaching these traffic lights. They're just changing to amber, and of course the Tosla's going to slip through. Followed closely by the single-digit IQ sapping a little mini there. Yep, small car, small IQ, brains as useless as rubber teeth on a tiger. Here I'm going up Vauxhall Bridge Road towards Vauxhall Bridge, and this clip just sums up what driving in London is all about. There's the cyclist going through the red light when the pedestrian is going across, absolutely totally disregards everything, and then the Tesla just does exactly the same and pulls out in front of the cyclist. Pair of them idiots, both as thick as a claw hammer. This from Chris P, and nothing quite says I've got the sort of intelligence that makes a sock puppet feel superior, like hitting a motor straight up the arse. But hang on a minute, Chris said he knows him, he's a local man, they call him CCTV. I said, that's a funny name, why they call him that? He said, yes, because his brain's a closed circuit. This from Sue D, approaching this junction, and if Carlsberg ever did backwards special needs drivers that sniff gaslighter fluid, that would be him right there. Yeah, his Pringles stopped popping a long time ago, don't worry about that. Here's Desar sitting in a bit of traffic. Now have a look at this goon in this black Audi with black windows. Look, any less intelligence, he could get a job on a demolition site working as a wrecking ball. This from Paul, and he's just round the back of St Paul's in King Edward Street, which is a little one-way street just round the back of St Paul's. Now Paul's going the right way, of course, but the Uber idiot, who is to society what a steering wheel is to a canoe, is obviously not going the right way. They never go the right way up any street. And even now, when he's reversing up to do a three-point turn, he don't even see the curb and mounts that. If thoughts made a noise, his would sound like this. This is from the Rock God 23 in his HGV on YouTube if you want to check him out. And look at this plank coming down the A12 in Romford the wrong way. Probably too busy talking to the picture of his cat he keeps on his dashboard while he's sucking on a Werther's original. What is it with all these dimwits going up streets and dual carriageways and motorways the wrong way? Ain't they heard of these novel inventions, road signs and road markings? And here's one such simpleton right now who doesn't know what any of them are. Their brains are like sat-navs, constantly stuck on redirecting. Here we go, unlit motorway, but everyone's keeping a nice safe distance, everyone's driving at a sensible speed, everyone apart from this delinquent who had his foot down, his eyes were down obviously, and his IQ's definitely down, spins out, hits the Armco barrier and smashes his own motor into oblivion. Now on a positive note, it did look like, down to his own stupidity, that Captain Clueless only wrote his own motor off and possibly injured himself. You reap what you sow, bitch. Now, if any of you lot still ain't got a dash cam and you want one, here's your chance. Go down in the description down below, click on the link, use promo code RM15 at the checkout, save yourself 15% and get yourself a Road Angel dash cam. Here's another one from ENK Driving School on Instagram. Keep your eye on this dunce in this black car, because he's as mentally prepared to drive safely on the road as a goldfish is mentally prepared to speak at a tax seminar, as he just locks up and just goes from the outside lane into the petrol station in true Bell End fashion. This from Colin M, and he's in a 44-tonne truck, and car drivers do this all the time when you're driving these. Black car done nothing wrong, merged nicely, but this smooth brain idiot just jumped straight in front there. You got all these low IQ drivers out there, they think it's really sharp and slick to cut in front of a truck in the driver's blind spot. And here's another massive dildo doing exactly the same thing, but a lot faster. As Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until they get it. Yeah, hit by 44 tonnes of moving steel. Hasta la vista, baby. This from Peter B. And you ever wondered why packs of peanuts have things like may contain nuts? Or some forms have please read twice before answering? It's because of gimps like that, that's why. And then, of course, he does what every big ship's anchor does. They show you the palm of the hand, let you see their calluses, show how much he's been spanking the monkey lately. Look at this space cadet who Neil F snapped in the petrol station, fully electric car, and he pulls in next to the petrol pump there. You know he's got left and right in his shoes, don't you? You just know it. This from Steve T. Now, nothing quite says, I enjoy reading Reader's Wives magazine while I'm sitting in my yellow-stained white wire fronts, eating pickled onions like overtaking on the wrong side of the bollard and speeding through a 20-mile-an-hour zone. This from Mick T. Now, have you ever wondered where idiots go when they wander off from the village? Well, they go and do what their parents kept telling them to do all them years ago and play with the traffic like this moron here. You just know that mug there would get lost and couldn't find his way out of a revolving door. And his partner or sister jumps in immediately to administer some much-needed correction there. That half-wit there's got a learning curve flatter than a snail was tried to cross the M1. OK, so staying on the theme of the village idiot, as you can see, everyone's stopping at the red light. Pedestrians are actually walking across, but this muppet don't worry about that. He's so dim he could set the tone at a romantic meal. Have a look at this muppet in the murk. He's definitely missing a few carriages from his train of thought as he just goes from lane 1 to lane 3, heading for the chevrons. What is it with the drivers of these German cars? Funny enough, my mate's a German, he wears a wig. Yeah, we call him hairpiece. Here's Mark L sitting at the red traffic light at this pedestrian crossing here. But unfortunately, the guy in the grey pickup's got a bit confused, thinks it's a zebra crossing, and he's just gone on his way. Yep, about as mentally stable as a sandcastle in a tsunami, that one. Just watch this absolute cretin in the silver car. Sees a cyclist coming and just still pulls out, clips his back wheel. The only reason that idiot's got ahead is to keep his ears apart. Guys, if you like what you've seen so far, please hit that little like and subscribe button down below because it really does help me grow the channel. Right, let's have a look at some two-wheel idiots. Here we go, and the police are turned up to give us a display of slow speed, class 1 riding skills. It looked like he grabbed the front brake for no reason at all, and that sent him off balance. Full disclosure, about 25 years ago, I did forget to put the stand down on my CBR 600 at Box Hill. Yes, it was embarrassing, and yes, it was expensive. Here we are on board with Ed. Let's play a game of I Spy. I spy with my little eye something beginning with the letter C, and it rhymes with the word stunt. I'll give you a clue. It's more inbred than cheese and pickle, and it's got a single-digit IQ. Put you out your misery. There he is, riding Noddy's bike, dressed like G.I. Joe, trying to prove how easy it is to get squashed by the wheels of a bus. What a sap. Here we are with Musa, just up in Shoreditch, just pulling up to these red lights there. There they go, they've changed. You would normally be able to go when they turn green, but you can't. When you've got a reprobate, just ride straight across in front of you. That mug's got 2 brain cells and he needs one of them to fart. Here we go, knobs of the week here, the real life Dumb and Dumber. They ventured into the furniture removals business. The only problem is they ain't got a van. They ain't got no sense either, but that's besides the point. What do you reckon that one on the left? Future neurosurgeon, scientist perhaps? Any less intelligent, that pair of mugs would be living in shells and leaving a trail behind them. Now everybody knows if you want to make bland food taste better, you add pepper and salt. But if you're a backwards div, you ride into a wall and do a somersault. Oh, Rocky the dog's looking at him thinking, what the fuck, we're meant to be man's best friend. This mug can go and do one, he's no mate of mine. That's the sort of mug that would get stuck in one of them toilets where you have to push the button to exit. He'd have to call the attendant, he'd get confused. Here we are on board with SpongeBob. He's gone the mountain downhill, he's going for the personal best. He can taste victory, he can taste success, and all he can taste now is the back of that black car. There must be some sort of unwritten rule that says when you're going a certain speed, focus intensely on the front wheel and don't give a toss about what's in front of you because you'll find out anyway. This is from my mate Helio. Now, you know yourself, when you want to do right for the environment, save the planet, you take all your plastic waste to a recycling plant. But when you want a good laugh, you watch a face plant. Let's see that again. Hang on. This is in Brazil, by the way. Here comes clueless Carlos now, not looking where he's going. Face meets metal, goes down, arse meets concrete, a unison made in heaven. Here's another one from my mate Elio, and what this is, that lady in the orange dress, she's a news reporter because she's come to this town because a massive sinkhole's just opened up. Now, most people are being careful. Everyone apart from this plank who's just ridden into it. And now he's stuck under his bike. Face down in the raw effluent and sewage. Classic, man. Well, that's it for this one, everybody. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I put a playlist up there on the right if you want to watch some more. Thanks to everyone who sent in clips. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.